A DRC military court hands out tough sentences for soldiers convicted in the Kasai killings. How the Liberian diaspora helped combat the Ebola outbreak, one mission at a time. And in our Music Makers segment, a live performance by Congolese singer Shardabat. Africa 54 starts right now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. Now we begin tonight in North Africa, where Egyptian officials say suicide car bombers have attacked a military checkpoint in northern Sinai, killing at least 23 soldiers and wounding several more. Security sources said the two suicide car bombers triggered their devices as they passed through two checkpoints close to each other on a road outside the border city of Rafah. So far, no group claimed responsibility for the attacks. Now, the Egyptian army said later on Friday the attacks had also injured 26 soldiers, but it did not provide a breakdown of the figure. Army officials say security forces had killed 40 militants and destroyed 6 of their vehicles following the attack. The army posted photos of 5 dead militants in blood-soaked fatigues lying in the sand. Islamic State is leading an insurgence in the northern Sinai desert, where hundreds of soldiers and police have been killed since 2013 when the military ousted Islamist President Mohamed Morsi after mass protests. Now, Democratic Republic of Congo court has convicted 7 soldiers for the murder of suspected militia members in the country's insurrection-ravaged Kasai region. On Thursday, the court in Mbuji-Mayi sentenced 2 army majors to 20 years in prison and 3 other soldiers to 15 years for murder and improperly disposing of weapons. That's according to defense lawyer Jimmy Bashile. A video of the massacre showing soldiers shooting people, some of them young women, at point-blank range provoked international condemnation when it appeared in February. 2 soldiers were sentenced in absentia to capital punishment. Bashile added, although Congo has observed a moratorium on the death penalty for more than a decade. 1 other soldier received a 12-month suspended sentence for failing to denounce the crimes, while another was acquitted for lack of evidence. All of the defendants who were convicted plan to appeal these sentences. Now, in West Africa, soldiers in Niger killed 14 unarmed civilians after mistaking them for Boko Haram militants during a patrol in the remote southeast of the country, as according to the Secretary General of the Difa region of southeast Niger. The Nigerian soldiers were patrolling a militarily restricted zone around the village of Abadan near Lake Chad on Wednesday afternoon when they opened fire on what turned out to be farmers. 2 of the dead were from Niger and the rest of from the neighboring Nigeria. Now, Boko Haram is based in Nigeria, and the jihadist group sometimes carries out cross-border attacks into Niger, Cameroon and Chad. It was not immediately clear why the civilians were in the restricted area and what made the soldiers open fire. Now, the much-anticipated meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is finally taking place on Friday. Prior to his high-stakes first official face-to-face meeting with Putin, a formal bilateral discussion that is overshadowing the G20 summit in Hamburg, Germany, President Trump said, quote, "I look forward to a lot of positive things happening for Russia and the United States." Now, the meeting was fraught with symbolism as Trump, still new to the world of global diplomacy, sat down with Putin, a former KGB agent who came to power in what amounted to a Kremlin coup 17 years ago. Putin has a reputation for keeping negotiating partners off balance. Well, clashes erupted in Hamburg as U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in the German port city for the start of the G20 summit of the world's leading economies. In addition to meeting the Russian leader, President Trump also faces challenging meetings with leaders of China and Germany on a long list of contentious issues. VOA's Luis Ramirez reports from Hamburg.
The scene in Hamburg was far different from the rousing welcome President Trump had received in Poland. Police using water cannons and baton moved in on thousands of leftist demonstrators intent on disrupting the G20 summit. Protesters had been camping out for days, waiting for the U.S. leader.
What are my thoughts about it? Oh, Donald Trump is kind of really symbolic. for this issue about how to manage crises, how to manage the crisis in the world, and he stands for he is kind of the symbol for our enemies.
Hamburg has historically been a center of left-wing anti-capitalist protests, a symbol of openness that German Chancellor Angela Merkel wants to showcase as she makes her case against protectionism.
Ich glaube, wir sind uns einig, dass wir die multilateralen Beziehungen stärken wollen durch den G20-Gipfel, dass wir eine offene Gesellschaft brauchen, offene Handelsströme insbesondere.
Hours before Mr. Trump's arrival here, Germany's foreign minister voiced concerns that Trump's complaints about a bloated German trade surplus could lead to a trade war with the U.S. Hamburg also gives Trump a chance to voice his concerns on the explosive issues of North Korea and Chinese steel dumping with China's President Xi Jinping. Along with heads of the world's leading economies, thousands of anti-capitalist demonstrators have converged on the city. German police had been bracing for violence and confiscated hundreds of homemade weapons, including flamethrowers and clubs. With all the discord going into the summit, the tough issues, and the list of strong characters taking part, the stage is set for high drama. Luis Ramirez, VOA News, Hamburg.
Well, I want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. We're also streaming our show live on Facebook, so check us out and share our show with your friends. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Find me on Twitter at VOA Vince McCory. Now, coming up, how the diaspora helped bring Liberia back from the brink during the Ebola outbreak. Stay with us.
This is BizBeat.
Food waste, such as bad fruit, can be costly to a business, and that's where Cecilia Larson comes in. According to Larson, 30% of the fruit market goes to waste.
It could be reason that the box are broken or have been damaged in transportation. It could be tiny dots from hail. It could be damp boxes.
Larson's Swedish startup Rescue Juice takes rejected fruit from supermarkets like apples to make apple juice. She gets boxes where 3% of the apples are bad, but the other 97% are good.
So this is a pallet that we got today with apples, and as you can see, this apple is quite perfect. So what we do is that we sort the good ones from the bad and make juice from the good ones.
The pallets of apples come from as far away as Argentina and South Africa. And Larson produces more than 40,000 bottles of juice a month and delivers the product to 150 stores and eateries around Sweden. For VOA's BizBeat, I'm Philip Alexio.
Well, major organizations like Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross are largely credited with bringing relief to Liberia as it was ravaged by the Ebola outbreak. Yet some individuals in the Liberian diaspora also played an important role to combat the virus, one mission trip at a time. Monique John has a story.
Some say most Americans didn't pay attention to the West African Ebola crisis from 2014 to 2015 until people affected by the virus crossed over to the U.S. But there's a diverse group of determined Liberian American medical professionals who continually go to the region to help those grappling with the virus's aftermath.
We strongly believe that we are morally obligated to our people. It's like going back to serve my father, my uncles, my nephews, and my cousins. I bring back relief to them.
Joseph Sacker is the chair of the Liberian Medical Mission. Based in the U.S., the mission has 50 healthcare workers who volunteer for patients in Liberia. Members come from all over the states, some even from Canada. The missions date back to 2011 and occur about every 2 to 3 years. 17 to 25 people are dispatched for each 2-week-long trip. Members were last seen in Liberia and briefly Guinea in March and April 2016. Sacker's colleague in the mission, Dr. Williametta Simmons-Bacasa, a clinical psychologist, says she was struck by the palpable trauma civilians still felt from the devastating disease.
There's this sense of desperation in terms of mental health need, and it's always great to be able to fill that void.
Dr. Picasso recalls the cries of her patients and students.
I still have nightmares about it. I dream about it still. Some folks were terrified, when they would see, someone that got into an accident or was laying on the floor of, on the road. They thought, oh my goodness, everything keeps reminding me of the time that I had to clean up bodies.
In 2014, the Liberian Medical Mission joined with other organizations and medical and international development professionals of Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean descent. They formed the Diaspora Ebola Task Force. This umbrella group of almost 200 people coordinated relief supplies and helped send medical and tech workers to West Africa. Their goal was to mitigate the impact of the outbreak through building capacity on the ground. Dr. Duba Christopher Nyan, the director of the task force's secretariat, speaks to the hidden advantage in being a grassroots project.
We may not be the name recognized quote-unquote NGOs out there, like Médecins Sans Frontières or ARC or the Red Cross, but we are the diaspora. We are from these regions. We understand the culture of the people, and so we can directly interact with them and understand their needs and responsibilities.
The members say they want to host more frequent missions, but few can take on the financial burden of paying for their own expenses to go on the trip, a bill that's usually upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. There's also the cost of maintaining the mission's warehouse that holds medical supplies that are airlifted to the region. In 2014, the mission sent $4.5 million worth of donated medicine and equipment to the Liberian healthcare facilities. Shipment for a single 40-foot container costs over $7,000. On the next mission, Dr. Picasso says the group will target violence against women and children exacerbated by Ebola. Dr. Nyan says the group also plans to extend its services to other countries and diseases like cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, and malaria. The group is still seeking grants to advance their work.
If we can, as diaspora, African diaspora group, take our own funding, support ourselves to go into those countries, imagine what it could do if we have just $25 or $10 million to support our projects. We could do quite a lot.
Despite the challenges, the group insists that money, or lack thereof, won't keep them from going to the region again soon. Monique John for VOA News.
Well, in Friday's financial news, Visa extends its footprint into Africa, partnering with InterSwitch. We get more details now from Africa 54 business correspondent Jill Malandrino, reporting from the NASDAQ market side in New York.
Visa pushes even further into Africa, partnering with InterSwitch to accelerate mobile payment adoption across the western and eastern regions. The partnership will see Visa and InterSwitch upgrade the digital banking applications of leading banks to include M-Visa, as well as enable more merchants to accept M-Visa payments. The partnership will also enable more merchants to accept M-Visa, which will benefit the millions of local merchants and SMEs who represent up to 60% of Nigeria's economy. The M-Visa solution will allow informal traders to accept electronic payments in a cost-effective way without the need for investing in point-of-sale terminals. Merchants are able to receive payments directly into their bank accounts within minutes of a consumer making a payment. Now, Business Insider points out that in 2016, 40% of the adult population in 8 African countries were actively using mobile money, according to GSMA. Further, 86% of households make mobile payments, accounting for 70% of non-cash transactions. And Visa could benefit from these growing consumer habits around using mobile devices to complete transactions. From the NASDAQ market site in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is Africa 54 Business News.
Welcome back to Africa 54, and here's what's trending. A weak currency is creating plenty of fees in the British drinks industry, but is it all about to go flat? Now, the ramifications of the Brexit vote are starting to hit home at Imbibe Live. That's the UK industry's annual trade show in London. The crash in the pound following last year's Brexit vote has created a wave of uncertainty across the drinks industry. Wholesalers have suddenly discovered their spending power reduced, particularly when importing from the US and Europe. So far, most wholesalers have been able to absorb the costs. But as Brexit negotiations get underway in earnest, consumers could soon start to feel the bite. Well, next up, gun violence is on the rise in Rio de Janeiro as drug gangs battle each other and the police. Now, a pair of applications track in real time how many gun battles there are and where they occur based on eyewitnesses, media, and police accounts. The Fogo Cruzado, or Crossfire application, created by Amnesty International and local researcher, aims to let Rio's citizens know where gunfire is taking place in the hopes of keeping them out of danger. The second application is called Onde Tem Tiro, or Teo, or Where is the Shooting? Rio has been stunned by a rush of stray bullets hitting innocent bystanders. Murders jumped 11% in Rio de Janeiro state in the first 5 months of this year compared to the same period last year. Well, and finally, an environmentally friendly Danish brand is aiming to tackle waste by letting parents rent its baby clothes rather than buy them. Now, Copenhagen-based Viga hires its infant clothes to customers on a subscription basis. Items are replaced by larger ones as children grow. Customers choose bundle sizes depending on their needs. A new clothing bag is delivered at least every 3 months. An automated service based on the child's birth date and average growth rate anticipates when they will grow out of their current set and dispatches a larger one. Since launch, Viga has had around 3,000 subscribers in Denmark. And that is what is trending today. Well, it's time now for a short break. Still to come on Africa 54. Special live performance by Congolese performer Chadabat. We'll be right back.
Accordingly, South Africa was under the duty to arrest Omar al-Bashir and surrender him to the court while he was on South African territory in June 2015.
It's time for our Friday Music Makers segment, and today we have a special live performance by US-based Congolese pop, rhythm, and blues musician Chadabat. Chadabat, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you so much.
So first, just tell us a little bit, introduce your friend, and then you tell us what song you're going to perform.
With, Kevin Sue. Everybody knows that we're always together when it comes about performing acoustic or live.
Yeah, so, and your music is a bit different than what we typically know comes out of Congo.
Yeah.
What do you categorize yourself as?
It's a new generation. I want to bring something new, motivate other people to do what they love to do. So, yeah, but at the same time, I want to represent my country internationally. So that's why I choose to do what I do.
Okay,
yes.
And very quickly, the song again, you're going to perform today?
Yes, the song we're going to perform today, the title is One Life.
One Life.
Yes.
Okay, let's listen, let's watch you and enjoy this music, and hopefully at the end of this, you'll show us your eyes. Eh?
Okay.
Take it over.
Thank you. Let's go. Last night was amazing, but this morning I just want to feel this love. Everyone makes me feel good. When I call her, she likes that. Yeah, she tells me she want that. Yes, I got her what she want now. Yeah, she tells me she likes that. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. We're living one life, one life. We're living one life. Let me call somebody, let me get this money. I got a little honey, we gon' drink all night. She dancing this our life. She dey burn it up, let the world turn up, eh, eh. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We live in one life. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. Yeah. We're living one life, oh yeah. We're living one life.
Mm-hmm. And so this is this one life. A little bit, if you can tell us what was the inspiration for doing this particular song?
Yes, I did this song. It came up because I realized that we only live one time. You know, when I was growing up, my life, I was not thinking about scheduling myself, like how my life will be 2 weeks from now. Mm-hmm. So because I was just living at the moment, but I started to realize that when you're living, life is too short. Mm-hmm. So once you have a chance to have fun or anything like that, you have to enjoy it to the fullest.
And especially you come from a country that has seen a lot of turbulence, and therefore one way of expressing yourself would be through music and kind of get a make sense out of life.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what are you've released a few songs lately. Can you just mention a few before we can let you continue playing a little bit?
Yes, I have released I'm Ready. That's a promotional video. And then I have a real one that's coming pretty soon. And we will release that's a single that will be on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere. That will be released about the end of this month.
Mm-hmm. So. And who have been your major inspiration in your journey, in this current journey that you're taking in music?
Oh yeah, my main inspiration it's my mother. Used to always be there for me and supporting me, and everybody who have contribute to my success. I'm really grateful for that. And yes,
and musically, is there anybody you looked up to and you kind of said, this is the person I want to sing like, or even be better?
I want to keep it personal because I have a lot of connection to a lot of artists. I don't want them to
you don't want to hurt anybody or to offend anybody that you don't mention.
I have an artist that always support me, that I look up to. It's a Fresh Flavor. A lot of people, they're going to find out about him. So.
And you come from a country that is really a music giant on the continent, so we know there's a lot of inspiration, but also from across. So we wanted to kind of, entertain us a little more until, as we close the show today. And so, as we want to hear from you. I don't know if you're going to continue with that particular song or you have something else that you can throw in here to surprise me a bit.
Yes, that's not a problem. We can party.
Yeah, we can have a good party.
Yes.
So we're going to say goodbye to our viewers because this is a moment that we want to cherish and remember. And, well, that is a U.S.-based Congolese pop, rhythm, and blues musician, Shatta Bat, performing for us live right here today on Africa 54. And that's today. That's our show for today. And we thank you very much for joining us. But I want to close now with some more of the fantastic sounds from Shatta Bat. Have a great weekend.
by this morning. I just want to feel this love. Everyone makes me feel good. When I call her, she likes that. Yeah, she tells me she want that. Yes, I got her what she want now. Yeah, she tells me she likes that. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. Yeah. We're living one life, yeah, yeah. We're living one life. Let me cuss somebody, let me get this money. I got a little honey, we gon' drink all night. She dancing just how I like. DJ burn it up, let the world turn up, oh yeah, yeah. My life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. This is my life, let me go and turn up. What I want, it can be tonight. Every night, let me have fun. We're living one life. Yeah. We're living one life, oh yeah, yeah. We're living one life. Ces moments que je t'ai donnés, c'est un moment que jamais tu le sais. Tes décisions ne sont pas mes visions, Yukandeko, tu le sais. Quand c'est toc toc toc, je suis prêt d'ouvrir la porte, mais c'est Sandeko, tu le sais. Tes décisions ne sont pas mes visions, Yukandeko, tu le sais. Sais-tu si je suis parti loin de toi? Car tu as fait le choix. Maintenant je me suis envolé loin de toi. Car tu as fait le choix. Où est ces rapports entre nos voix? Car tu as fait le choix pour entrer ensemble sur ta voie. Cela ne m'achante pas. Car tu as fait le choix. Cela ne m'achante pas. Car tu as fait le choix. Oui, dans la vie, les gens parlent énorme. Maintenant tu le sais. Sois prêt aujourd'hui. T'as voulu que je sois cet homme si loin de toi. Si tu ressens l'amour de frères et sœurs, que cet amour.
Welcome to English in a Minute. Most people enjoy listening to music. But is this expression actually about songs and tunes?
Music to my ears.
Jonathan, I cannot believe we have to work over the weekend.
Did you not hear the news? The meeting for the project got canceled. No work this weekend after all.
Awesome! That is music to